Even identical twins would have different symbionts. This is impossible without some kind of manipulation.
Spoiler alert. By delving into the past, the Acolyte has explored a lot of previously uncharted territory in the Star Wars universe. But in the process, it has maybe revisited some of its own tales more than is required. The third episode of The Acolyte, Destiny, which centers on the Force-sensitive twins May and Osha, takes us back 16 years to explain the ideological divide between the two sisters. Following the initial flashback, which reveals that not everything is as it seems, Episode 7, Choice, retells the same tale from the Jedi's point of view. The episode offers a lot of information, but when you discover that this flashback rehashing is the penultimate episode of the season, it also turns out to be a roadblock for the current plot.
There's something dangerous about those women. You saw what they were capable of.
Welcome to Movie Spy.
There's too much to cover in just one episode of The Acolyte. The Acolyte kept telling its primary tale after our first diversion in Episode 3, with Master Saul, Osha, and the other Jedi going into Kofar to find Kelnaka before May finds him. By the end of night, things are really heating up as we meet the stranger for the first time. And then there's a terrifying cliffhanger as he uses a flick of his wrist to send a whole legion of Jedi flying into the forest. In the ensuing episode, Day, Kamir's identity is revealed.
The Jedi like you might call me Sith.
And some of the greatest lightsaber choreography in Star Wars history is showcased. The episode ends devastatingly, as the stakes are raised to 11 with the horrible deaths of every last Padawan Saul brings to Kafar. The suspense increases in Teach Corrupt, Episode 6, when Osha is taken prisoner by her sister's master, but it appears that she could be willing to listen to him. When the screen goes blank, we are left on a dramatic cliffhanger, even if she dons his toothy cortosis helmet. This week, we find that Episode 7 offers neither a resolution nor a follow-up to last week's tease. Rather, the 43-minute credits excluded film drops us back into the same time frame as the third episode. The same events as in Destiny are recounted in the episode Choice, albeit from the perspective of the Jedi rather than the twins. But because of the decision, a lot of Destiny is recycled and edited with fresh sequences. While it does provide context to what Saul has been reticent about and enriches the backstory, it ultimately diverts our attention from the events taking place in the Acolyte's current timeline, leaving Episode 8 with the nearly impossible task of tying up all the loose ends and coming to a satisfying conclusion. The main storyline should include flashbacks. Even though the plot that Choice reveals is crucial to the entire story, it could have been simplified to just highlight the most crucial details. Episode 7 would have been a better use of its time if it had spread out the Jedi's perspectives through Saul's conversation with May rather than completely ignoring the present, given that Episode 3 had already spent a whole episode introducing us to the twins' past and narrative. The Acolyte's focus should be on covering as much ground as possible in its already constrained runtime, even though we shouldn't take Carrie Ann Moss's Jedi Master Indara for granted anymore following her untimely death in the debut. The Acolyte's episodes hardly last longer than 40 minutes in the era of streaming, when shows like House of the Dragon and The Boys, two of its most popular rivals, air an hour each. It simply means the tale must be as condensed as possible to meet its 8-episode runtime, which isn't a huge drawback. It also can't be the best use of its or our time to spend a full episode revisiting a previously discussed flashback while cut off from the present. Ultimately, wouldn't it be more logical to feel Mi's feelings from both the past and the present in the same episode as her live response to Saul's massive announcement, rather than having to wait another week to continue where we left off 2 weeks ago? Although the plot of the last episode is still unknown, it seems like a lot more time might have been added if Episode 7 had spent the last 10 minutes bringing us back to the present before the finale, or at the very least, employed sporadic flashbacks. Is The Acolyte preparing for upcoming episodes? The intensity and excitement that The Acolyte spent several episodes building up have been killed by not returning to the present day in Episode 7. But perhaps that was always the intention. Even though it still doesn't make sense to spend The Acolyte's penultimate episode on a 16-year-old incident, maybe the bigger plot will be told over the course of next season, with the finale acting as a kind of Part 1. But as Leslie Headland, the creator of The Acolyte, recently revealed in an interview with Entertainment Weekly, that might not be the case. Headland has stated that she is open to the possibility of a second season if given the chance, even though there has been no formal announcement. She even shared ideas for a season beyond 2, saying, "I know what the character development needs to be in order to hit the plot points and the character points for a second, third, or fourth season. I'm excited to work on that, but I haven't done so yet. Therefore, even though the Acolyte Season 2 has not yet been revealed, it appears that the finale will leave us with more questions than answers, despite Headland's insistence that it would come to a satisfying conclusion. Even though Headland seems confident and strange things have happened, 43 minutes doesn't seem like enough time, especially considering Osha recently put on that Sith helmet. Thanks for watching.